How are we doing? Chag Sameach, everyone. I really enjoyed Shavuot learning with you guys this week. Hope everyone's doing well. I know we're going into Chag, and it's going to be a little bit weird this year. Not having all-night Shavuot learning, not being able to be with each other for Shavuot night, makes it significantly, I think, more challenging. So just to share a bit of Torah on Shavuot. There's this Torah that's always shared on Purim, of the idea that the real Matan Torah really happened on Purim. And you kind of are like, it kind of gets to you a little bit like, what does that mean? We've learned since we were children, Shavuot is Matan Torah, so why are we saying Matan Torah on Purim? So the Meshech Chachma brings in an idea that for Shavuot, when we accepted the Torah and we said Na'aseh v'nishma, we said to God, right, we'll do it and we'll listen. So the question is there, what was so wrong with that? So the Gemara brings in an idea, it says, Kafa aleim har kegigit. So at that moment, a mountain was hovering over them. And almost like God said, if you guys aren't going to accept the Torah, it says, Sham tiek etchem, this will be your burial. And you're like, what, this is Shavuos? God threatened my life and I was forced into accepting the Torah? So it says, we really accepted it in Purim. Why in Purim? Because in Purim we say Kimu v'kiblu Yehudim, which is parallel to Na'aseh v'nishma. It says the Jews fulfilled it and accepted it, very close to Na'aseh v'nishma. And we know in Purim we never see God once, right? Meaning we chose on our own to fulfill the Torah. That's the message of Purim, right? That would be a Purim Dvar Torah. But let's still ask our question: what's going on with Torah on Shavuos? You're telling me this is a day we were forced into accepting the Torah. God said if you don't accept it, this will be your burial, the Gemara says. So what do we do with that? So the Meshech Chachma brings in a great point. He says it wasn't we were literally forced, right? God wasn't putting a gun to our head or saying you're literally going to be buried right here. But it was forced in the sense that who told us the first two commandments? Who spoke to Am Yisrael? It wasn't Moshe. It was God himself. Right? And we couldn't handle it. It was too much for us. And then Moshe told us the rest. But God literally appeared to Bnei Yisrael. The only generation of people to ever see or hear God is right here, right now. All of Bnei Yisrael gets to talk to God and hear God. The challenge of today when we serve God is I don't see him. I don't literally hear from him the way I normally hear from other people. Right? I don't get a confirmation like I get confirmation from a friend who's saying, yes, I'm here. God doesn't talk like that to us. But imagine if he did, there would be no doubt in our minds. We'd be all walking the streets without any questions about whether this is the right way to do religion or that's the right way to do religion. We had no question about Judaism. If I could talk to God back and forth, how much more clear and how much more evidence do we need than that itself of actually talking to God and him responding to me? So that generation at Matan Torah literally saw God. And the Meshech Chachma says there was no freedom of choice because they saw the answer. They saw the outcome. They saw what it's going to look like. They saw God. So if you literally see God, God says, hey, get up and do this right now. You don't second guess it. If God literally says that to you, I would question anyone who had said I would still think about it. And we jump out of our seats and do it that second if God literally, and we are 100% positive we saw God. So Meshech Chachma said there was no more clear time in which we knew God existed than Matan Torah. Because God literally came out and showed us that he existed. And he spoke to us. And that was Matan Torah. Now, while maybe it's less impressive in the way we accept the Torah in Shavuos, the most impressive time was Shavuos isn't just celebrating the revelation of Torah. It's really the revelation of God. It's God letting Am Yisrael know I exist. And this Torah that's about to come out is attached to me. And if you're able to complete that Torah, then you also are completing me. You're completing Hashem. You're completing El Elokim, you're completing the Master of Mercy, Rachamim, Yud Ke Vav Ke, whatever name you want to put on Hashem. That's what you're completing. And he didn't want there to be a doubt in anyone's mind that the Torah is the real deal. So he comes to us and he appears to us. So tomorrow night I should say, right? Shavuot night, it's an opportunity to let God know, hey, I know this is the real deal. And even though I'm not with my friends, and even though I'm not with my chevra, or my siblings, or my class, or whatever it is, right? I'm still going to pound through the night. I'm going to fight it out. Right? I'm going to learn because I know this is the real deal. This is MS. This is emet. What I'm learning here is truth, and what I'm doing right now, all Shavuot night, is truth. And it's reminding God, even though my great-great-great-great-grandparents saw you at Har Sinai, I know that they saw you. And that's good enough for me to serve you. And that's the message, one of the many messages of Shavuot. So a big Yishar Koach to everyone staying up, and challenge to those who are still thinking about it. Give yourself a good kick in the tuchus a little bit, a nice push to you don't have to stay up all night, but to do what you can to learn a little bit of extra Torah, and prepare yourself for the real accepting of Matan Torah this Chag. I hope everyone has an amazing Chag and an amazing Shabbos, and looking forward to seeing you guys next week in my alley and learning together. Kol Tuv, everyone, all the best.